Good day everyone, this is Dr. Manu. Here is our client, he is Mr. Munna. He is 16 years old. Okay, today our examination is about thorax and lungs. Can you please remove your shirt?
Yes, doctor.
Firstly, sanitize your hands. The systematic examination of thorax. The bony thorax encases heart and lungs and partially covers stomach, liver, kidneys, and spleen. To find the sternal angle, place your finger in the hollow curve of the suprasternal notch and slide your fingers downward about 5 cm until you feel the bony ridge that joins the manubrium to the body of the sternum. This is the sternal angle. Move your fingers laterally and find the adjacent second rib and costal cartilage using two fingers. 12th rib is another starting point for counting ribs and interspaces. Find T12 and adjacent 12th rib by pressing your fingers in and up from below the rib cage, then walk up the interspaces above. With the patient's neck flexed forward, find the most prominent spinous process, which is usually at C7. Then feel and count from C7 to T12. You can often palpate and count the process below them, especially when your spine is flexed. To further locate and describe your findings, use these imaginary lines. The mid-sternal, the mid-clavicular, anterior axillary, mid-axillary and posterior axillary line. And posterior side, we can find vertebral line and scapular line. When examining the chest, it's helpful to visualize the underlying lungs and their fissures and lobes on the chest wall. Anteriorly, the apex of each lung usually rises 2 to 4 centimeters above the inner third of the clavicle. The lower border of the lung crosses the 6th rib at the mid-clavicular line and the 8th rib at the axillary line. Each lung is divided roughly in half by an oblique or major fissure. The left lung has only two lobes, upper and lower, and the right lung is divided into the upper, middle and lower lobes. Posteriorly, the border of the lung lies at about the level of T10 spinous process. On inspiration, it normally descends 3 to 5 centimeters further down. To learn the general anatomical terms used to locate chest findings, supraclavicular and infraclavicular and interscapular. Begin the examination with patient's health history in mind, and after good hygiene, you are ready for the physical examination. Begin your examination with a breath survey of patient's thorax and respiration. Note the shape of the chest and how it moves. Is the thorax symmetry? Are there any bony deformities? Observe the rate and rhythm, depth and effort of breathing. And listen any audible sounds of breathing that may indicate respiratory distress. Now listen and count number of breaths per minute. Normally, a resting adult breath can quietly and regularly about 14 to 20 times a minute. Inspect the patient's neck for retraction of the accessory muscle, namely the supraclavicular, sternocleidomastoid or scalene muscles, suggesting the respiratory difficulty. Normally, this is not present. Palpate the sternal notch to check the position of the trachea. It should be in the middle. Check the patient's color for circummaral and nail bed cyanosis, a bluish color arising from deoxygenation. Lips and fingernails are normally pink. Now examine the posterior thorax. Beginning with inspection, observe the chest for contour symmetry and deformities. Also inspect the overlying skin. Palpate the chest wall to locate an areas of pain or tenderness or any lesions or bruises, suspicious fourth rib fracture. To test the chest examination, place your thumbs close to the patient's spine at the level of the 10th ribs and spread your fingers tightly across the lateral thorax Ask the patient to inhale and exhale deeply and fully while you watch the divergence of your thumbs normally about 2 centimeters and feel for the range and symmetry of the movement. Next, systematically palpate tactile fremitus. Feel for the vibrations of the tactile fremitus as the patient continues repeating 99 or some similar phrase consisting of 2 or 3 equally accented syllables. Continue the examination by percussing the chest in systematic manner, moving down the thorax and going from side to side as demonstrated in a ladder pattern. Listen to the intensity, pitch and duration of percussive notes and note the sense of vibration. Identify the type of notes you are hearing. Normal lungs are resonant. To escalate the posterior thorax, use the diaphragm of the stethoscope. Begin at the apices and proceed downward, moving systematically from side to side, again in a ladder pattern. Listen to the duration, pitch and intensity of the inspiration and expiration sounds. Decide what type of breath sounds are hearing and note any added sound. Listen to it at least one entire breath cycle of each location. Bronchi have a lower pitch snoring quality and arise from secretions in large airways as seen in bronchitis. If you hear abnormally located bronchial breath sounds, assess transmitted voice sounds while escalating in the chest. Again, ask the patient to say 99. Normally, sound transferred to the chest wall are muffled and indistinct louder. Sounds are reflecting transmission through the airless tissue called bronchophony. Next, test for egophony. E to A changes which occur in lobar consolidation from pneumonia. Have the patient say E. Normally, you will hear a muffled E sound. If the underlying tissue is consolidated, the E sound changes to a bleeding A. Finally, check for whispered pectoral acute. Ask the patient to whisper 1, 2, 3. Whispered voice is usually heard faintly or indistinctly. If at all, clearer loud sound suggests underlying consolidation. To examine the anterior thorax, have the patient lie supine and breathe normally. Observe the condition of the skin and inspect the chest for deformities, asymmetry and respiratory movement. Next, palpate the chest to locate any areas of tenderness or to assess any lesions or abnormalities.
Tenderness.
Then assess chest expansion. Place your thumbs along each costal margin with your hands along the lateral rib cage. Observe for your thumbs diverge as the thorax expands. Next, palpate for tactile fremitus. Compare both sides of chest using the ball or ulnar surface of your hand. Fremitus is usually decreased or absent over the precordium. Next, percuss the anterior chest and the lateral chest. The heart usually produces an area of dullness to the left of the sternum from the third to the fifth interspaces.
Sound difference చూసారా హార్ట్ సౌండ్ పెట్టలేము మీకు
నువ్వు బీట్ చేసేప్పుడు మాట్లాడుకుని ఈ సౌండ్ వీడియోలో పెట్టుకోవచ్చు.
To escalate the chest anteriorly and laterally, ask the patient to breathe with the mouth open and somewhat more deeply than normal. Compare the symmetry areas of the lungs using the lateral pattern suggested for percuss. Note breathing sounds and intensity. Identify any adventitious sounds it's indicated. Listen for transmitted voice sounds.
99.
By asking patient to say 99.